So, a deck building game with psychological horror elements. Say no more. This is very much a game I want to jump in and I want to show because I think this is awesome. This was high on I think the new and popular page on itch.io, and I think it looks like it has a good reason to be. It has been around for a little while, and it's part of a sort of a collective approach to development that I would love to know more about, how they are coordinating it and things like that, because it's quite hard coordinating developers. Anyway, we can chat more about that in the critique section. Let us jump in and I'll show what I have learned about the play screen. So, we are a hapless employee who is being forced to play this game to try and make some money. This is our boss. He is watching us hypnotically. I'm not quite sure what that is on his head. Some kind of thing sticking out from his hair. I don't know. Anyway, we were working for a pharmaceutical company called Sunbright. So this is our gameplay page. There is another page where we can purchase things and a third page where we can get some health back. But this is our starting page. So starting on the top left, this is the amount of money we have. Currently it is $0, which is sad. We need to stack up $999 so we can buy our way out to safety. We have perks, up to 5 perks. We start with 1 perk, which is when you complete a column, gain dollars. So if we successfully flip over all the cards in a column, we get an extra dollar on top of whatever it is that we have made from the column. We don't have any other perks, and we can apparently sell perks, although I don't know how to sell the perks. So that doesn't help me very much. It's the one thing I haven't managed to figure out yet. We have our time limit. We have until midnight. Every time we flip over a card, it costs us a minute. And every time we stop and go to our purchase screen or whatever, that costs us 10 minutes. So, I mean, that's where the sort of time progression challenge of the game is. Currently, it's 8 o'clock, and we haven't flipped over anything or done anything yet, so it's going to stay there for now. So there's not too much time pressure to make a decision, but there is time pressure to win. This is also our health bar. We have 2 sort of armor dots that replenish every time we start a new round, and then we have 3 hearts. And once we have run out of those 5 elements, we die. The stop button, like I said, takes us through to the purchase screen where we can buy sort of different cards and different perks and things like that. And the sort of the end game button is there if we ever make $1,000. This is our multiplier. Every time we flip over a card that gives us money, it is multiplied by whatever this multiplier is. So we want to try and find multipliers first, and then money cards, so we can make as much money as possible. Which takes us through to the actual card element of the page. So here we have, I think, 18 cards that we start off with, and they are divided into these types of cards. We have 4 Jerry cards, which will do damage to us, taking one of our dots of health away if we flip them. Obviously we don't know which are the Jerry cards, but we want to try and avoid those. We have the multipliers cards, which will affect the multiplier amount. We have the money cards that will just give us money affected by the multiplier amount. We have reactivators that will make cards near them, depending on the kind of reactivator, trigger again. So if we flipped over a give us money card and then we flip over a reactivator pointing to it, it will give us more money. That's quite a powerful card to find later in the round, but quite useless to find earlier in the round where we haven't flipped any cards yet. And we have hint cards that tell us where the Jerrys are. We also have an eye card that by itself doesn't do anything, but we can get perks to make the eye card do increasingly powerful things. And we can this is the eye card, we know which the eye card is, and we can just flip it. Currently it doesn't do anything because we don't have any perks or anything affecting it. But yeah, I flipped it, and that's what it does. And then this is a hint card. We have certain hint cards that have what do you call it? Start stickers. So these cards are just flipped at the beginning of the round, so we don't need to flip them. The largest grouping of Jerry is 2, so we know we have at least 2 Jerrys close to each other, and the others are on their own. Yeah, and it has a start sticker, so it just starts flipped. So this can be quite useful to know. Yeah, so now we have to decide which cards to flip. We do have this perk that when you complete a column, gain dollars, and we have 2 columns here that are half completed. So if we flip this one and it's not a Jerry, it is a Jerry, so we take damage, but we still technically complete that column, so we get $1 for that. That's for completing the column. But we found a Jerry, and the Jerry card is marked. If we flip it again, we'll take another point of damage. You can see we've lost one of our shields. So a fairly stucky start, but it's not a problem. At least we got $1 out of it. And I'm going to try and flip this one, and I hope this isn't the pair of Jerrys, but it might be. It is the pair of Jerrys. So we take another point of damage, so we've lost our shields, but we've gained $2, and at least we know where 2 of the Jerry cards are. The other 2 might be anywhere here. So if I flip this card, it completes a column. So I'm hoping it's not a Jerry, but let's see. And it is not. It was a reactivated card, so if it flipped any of these other cards around here and they were face up, it would reactivate them. Fortunately, that doesn't affect Jerry's because they return to face down, so the reactivators don't affect them. But if we had found money there, we would have gotten that money card again. But we did at least get the column benefit, so we got $3 there. Let's go for the other short one. So let's get this top corner. Another wasted reactivator. We have no more reactivators on the board, so those are pointless. And this is a hint. There is one Jerry adjacent to eyes. Okay, we've already found that one, so we know that this is not a Jerry. And now, when it says adjacent, I don't know if the corner cards mean adjacent, because these adjacent ones only point to the cardinals. But there are different kinds of reactivators that only point one way or another, so that might not be how it works. So the question is, but we also know that this is not a Jerry because there were only 2 in a group. The largest grouping is 2, so we can probably click on these quite safely. One of the rows has no Jerrys. Yes, thank you. We know that. That's dollars. So yeah. All right. I think that's all the ones that we know are safe. You see, now if we take damage, this is damage. Those 2 points come back at the end of the round, but these ones do not. So I am now a lot more wary about losing more health points. So let's try and okay, but that also means it's not part of the grouping. So we know that adjacent doesn't necessarily mean on the corners, so it is just left, right, up and down, the cardinal points. Okay, so there is one Jerry left on the board that I am not in a hurry to trigger because we are already taking heart damage, but we have found 3 of them. Let us try and do this column. Oh, we finally found a multiplier, 2 multipliers, and we completed a column, so we're up to $9. Now, where do we think the lost Jerry is? I'm going to risk it and just do these ones here. Oh, there's the last Jerry. Alright, so we can now flip all the other remaining cards up. We have taken a lot of damage, but we have nearly $30. Now stop button has turned into please stop, because we're about to die. Alright, so that was a relatively terrible round, but we did get a chunk of cash from it. So if we hit stop, our boss gives us a judgmental look, and we go to the shop page, where we can buy either more perks or more cards for our deck. And we can also go to the break room. We lose 10 minutes, but we do get an extra point of health. So first of all, let's have a look at the perks. When an eye opens, flip adjacent hints, but that's only valuable if there is a hint adjacent to the eye. Side eye, when an eye opens, reactivate cards to its right. So that would be quite nice, because if we have an eye, we can flip all the cards to the right and then get them reactivated when we're ready. So that is very, very powerful. We can't afford it, but that's powerful. We also have at the top of the hour, transforms into a random rare perk. Also, that could be quite powerful. There's a lot of randomization in there, so we don't know how powerful that is. We can buy another eye card. We can buy a multiplier card to add to our deck, and we can buy another hint card, but that's only one use. Only for $2 we can add to the deck. I'm actually going to buy that. There is our exit button. We need $1,000 to get out of that. We can either start the next round, 10 minutes, or because we only have one heart, well, technically we have three hit points, but we can get one back by going to the break room by spending $10. And the break room is quite funny. You have 14 hint cards and one water cooler card, and the water cooler card just gives us a health point. So if we just flip the cards, at least we get $1 for every column that we pick, because our perks are still valid. Costly. These are all useless hints. I think none of them are actually quite useful. We found our water cooler, so we get our heart back, and we've gained $5 from flipping all the cards. So it's actually quite worth it going to the break room. Not only do you get a heart, but you also get some money from flipping all the cards, and potentially more money depending on what other perks you have. So perks for the break room might be an interesting consideration. So at least now we have 4 hit points. We don't have the 5th one anymore. We've lost it, and I don't think there's a way to get that back that I'm aware of. Anyway, so we stop. We go back to the shop, which is quite nice. We get another re-roll of the perks. We can buy a second column value thing. I don't know. I assume they stack. See, that's quite nice to start around with the multiplier card flipped, because not only does it give us a multiplier, but it also removes one of the cards that we need to try and figure out. And that's another powerful one, where if you complete a column, it finds a random dollar card for us and flips that. Also quite nice. There's a straight hint card. This is not one of the replaceable hints, so that's quite powerful. There's a straight money card that we can add to the stack, which I'm tempted to buy. I don't know, do I want one of these perks? You know what, I'm actually going to sink into a long-term view and buy that perk. I only have $2 left, so I can't buy anything else. We'll have a look at the next round. There we go. So we start with a multiplier and a hint that is now useless. So yeah, thanks for that. Let's try and complete some columns. Oh, we got some money there. Got some more money there. Oh, we found a Jerry. Alright, so we found one of the 4. Let's do the corner card. Let's complete another column. 0 Jerry's adjacent to eyes. That's really helpful because we have now flipped all of the cards adjacent to the eye. Let's get that column. And another short column. The largest grouping of Jerry's is 3. So those might be more Jerry's there. Oh, so that might be a Jerry. So I'm guessing that is our 3 Jerry's. So we have a 4th one somewhere else on the board. Probably not here. There are 0 Jerry's in the corners of the board, so we know the corners are safe. So I think that is definitely a Jerry. Means this one probably isn't. So one of these 3 is 1 Jerry, 1 money, and 1 reactivator. So let's do that one. Alright, so that's money, and I don't think we care. Oh, if that is the reactivator, it will give us a chunk of cash. That one will give us less cash. I'm going to risk it. I'm going to flip this card. Hey, we got a chunk of cash from that one. Alright, so we know that those are all 4 Jerry's as well. So we actually had quite a good round there where we figured out 2 Jerry's that we don't need to flip. We didn't actually lose any health from the previous one. We just lost our shields. So that was a really, really good round. So I'm going to stop there. And our boss gave us a look. And that's it. So we are... what do you do? Oh, this is a double sticker. So that's quite nice. So this would give us 2 hits if we got lucky with that reactivator. Anyway, so that is the end of the gameplay. I think I've shown you everything that I know how to do in the game. I still don't know how to sell perks. So yeah, we don't know that. So yeah, if you are just here for the gameplay, thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, because that boosts the channel for me, and it benefits you because it teaches the YouTube algorithm that you like to watch gaming videos. which I'm assuming you do like to watch because you are here watching a gaming video. And I hope to see you in the next video, because I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you for watching. Goodbye. If, however, you are staying for the critique, well, there's quite a bit to talk about here. I'm being a little firmer about it because this game has been out for a while and there's a lot of developers working on it. So I think there are some things that they should be a little bit better at. We do have, if I press escape again, the quality of life settings. So we still have pre-recording, yes. Yeah, so we do still have the quality of life settings, but there's no theming here. I don't understand what's going on. And while we're in game, the wipe, save and restart button doesn't do anything. It just takes us back to the game. It hasn't wiped anything or anything like that. It only has an effect once we've finished the game. So it's a little bit buggy here and there. Again, probably relevant to the browser version. I don't know what that button would be in the downloadable version, but definitely some work needs to be worked on that there. And there is no real sort of get back to the start menu or anything button. The quits doesn't actually do anything. So yeah, I don't know how much it's broken there. I'm on the Chrome browser. I'm on a Linux machine, so maybe that's had an effect. Anyway, so the quality of life controls need some work, and obviously the big thing that is missing here is some kind of tutorial. We need to learn how to play, and there's a lot of information here on the itch.io page that needs to be in the game. So that needs to be done. I think that's quite an important improvement on this version. I don't know how much they are actually working on this game in terms of rather on the browser version or whatever versus the Steam clients. I mean, they're obviously, that's the one that's going to start repaying all their effort, so that might be their priority, which is entirely fair enough. But if they are going to work some more on this browser thing, let's get some quality of life controls in here. Let's get that sorted, because that is the experience that your player is confronting when they test your sort of demo version of the game. This is something that's very easy to open and click on, and then get some of the game experience. And if it's a missing game experience, they're not going to like it very much. So after sort of several months of dev, while I see that you're adding some incredible layers of perks and all of that kind of stuff in here, the sort of game content looks like, at least from the dev logs that I had a look at, it looks like the sort of the content has been massively increased, which is absolutely fantastic. But let's get some quality of life in there as well a little bit. Sounds are fine. I like this kind of funky elevator music vibe for while you're in the purchase page. The sort of oppressive silence and soft sounds of actually playing on the cards pages is just perfect. It really does add that psychological horror vibe. I don't know, some more background sounds there might be an idea. I don't know if they would add or detract from it. It's something to think about. I'm sure you guys have thought about it. The art is all fantastic. I love the card designs. The perk designs are a little strange. Not quite sure what they're going. I like the way the perks are named and things like that. That kind of stuff is very, very cool. The visual designs, are they Rorschach diagrams? I don't know. It's very interesting. I certainly no complaints there. I like them a lot. I like all the cards. I like the buttons, a bit odd, but it certainly works as part of it. And the little piggy bank is very cute. So yeah, all of that is fantastic. I guess that the final critique is kind of what I've already mentioned. Where is teaching me how to play? Where is the explanations? How the hell do I sell these perks? I have no idea. If we go into there and drag them around, they don't do anything. I can't. If I click on it, I can take it somewhere. Like how do I sell that? Nothing else I can click on seems to do anything. So yeah, it needs a tutorial to teach me how to play. Everything I've figured out is just from fiddling around with it and figuring it out. And I don't think a lot of players are going to have that level of patience to figure out a game where they're possibly not that into the game as it starts. They might enjoy it later, but they're never going to get there because they don't know how to move onwards on a fairly complex cerebral game. So yeah, I guess that's my strongest critique, is just get some get some teaching for the players in there. Otherwise, absolutely fantastic game, really good looking, a lot of fun. I do recommend it heartily. Link will be in the description, so please come and play it. Give the devs some love, help them move towards their Steam release of the game. I think that's quite important. And thank you for watching, and I hope that has encouraged you to come play the game, because it is a good one. And I hope the devs enjoy the video, because I regard them with the greatest of respect. So good luck, guys, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you and goodbye.